This program has been sponsored by Old Time Italian Cuisine. Located at 612 Boston Street in Lynn, Mass., Old Time offers a variety of authentic Italian dishes ranging from pasta to chicken and more, with delicious desserts and fine wine. Bring your family down to their dining area or enjoy a drink at their full-service bar. Old Time Italian Cuisine. Great, authentic Italian food.
City's Voice is brought to you by Salon 234. Salon 234 is dedicated to delivering the highest quality service. We pride ourselves on being a visionary full-service company, specializing in current hairstyle trends and skincare needs for all different types of skin. Our highly skilled staff are committed to meeting your needs with a spirit of caring and individual attention. As with excellence and dedication to the advancement of industry standards, we continue to guide and shape our company. Come find yourself and unwind yourself.
Welcome to the City's Voice. This will be our third show on candidates for the upcoming election on September 17th in November for various offices in the City of Lynn, from City Councilor of the wards, Councilors-At-Large, and School Committee. Tonight's program is going to be broken into 4 segments. Each segment will have different candidates who will have an opportunity to talk about themselves with an opening statement. We'll have some questions in the middle, and then they'll have an opportunity to have a closing statement. Before we begin, we do want to mention that all candidates are invited to the show. Some had prior commitments, and that's why they may not be here tonight. We'd also like to offer our apologies as far as the mayoral date that falls on Rosh Hashanah, but unfortunately that's the only date that we can get the 2 candidates together. We will replay the show at another time for our Jewish friends who are interested, so that they'll have an opportunity to see that. And again, we want to remind everybody of the election being held on September 17th and the need to vote. And without further ado, my co-host Joe Spina is here tonight. We'll begin on our left at the with our candidates and give them an opportunity to introduce themselves. Miguel, you can begin.
Thank you for having me here tonight. Thank you for the viewers at home. My name is Miguel Funes. I'm running for office for the City of Lynn, Councilor-At-Large, looking to see what else we can do for this great city. Multicultural city, a city that is actually growing by the numbers every day. One of the most, something that concerns us a lot is the safety of the city, hiring more police officers. We just read on the newspaper, Mr. Carpenter said that it's 184 police officers as it is right now, and we're trying to improve that. At the same time, we need to reduce the violence. How can we do that? One of the things that I'm proposing to do is to actually prepare integrated program that we can buy back those guns on with illegal, people out there who have those guns and using them to rob the stores, businesses, and things like that. We need to make our city more attractive. How can we do that? We can do it together by working together with everybody. This way we can attract new businesses, develop also the waterfront, new schools. Right now we're trying to develop a new school, the Marshall School. Also clean up the parks so families can visit the parks, Try to save the money so we can use it also to clean the snow probably in the winter. Clean also the snow and this downtown, which we need new barrels in there. I understand that as of January of next year, the mayor will be putting new trash barrels all over the city. Which is very good. We need to keep a clean city. And I hope that you can vote for me, Miguel Funes, vote miguelfunes.com. Thank you.
Next, we have Katrina. I think would be the first person of Greek nationality that would serve on the school committee, as Miguel would be one of the first, no, he would be the first Spanish.
Yes.
Yes. Katrina.
Hi, my name's Katerina Pinichatakis Koudanis, and I am running for Councilor-At-Large. And my platform is basically based on master planning and green policy, building for family neighborhoods, and building a village to build a child, reducing our large city into nodes. And I've created a probably difficult to see on the camera, but this is also on the cityoflynnconcepts.com. I can see the glare of the lighting, but basically dividing the city into its natural division, which is the streets and into village neighborhood nodes, recognizing our commercial squares and introduction and gateways into that, increasing green infrastructure, green policy, and looking at innovative ways to come up with solutions. I want to offer a different perspective. And then on a side note, I also want to tackle the resolution to substance abuse issues, which I think are the root of crime-related issues in the city. And I think if we resolve, get to the issue, the root of that problem, I think we can, save some resources for enjoyment.
Oh, that's very good. Bob, running for Councilor-At-Large, Bob Crowley. I'm sure Crowley. Bob Walker. Sit down a moment.
I hope you can get me on the camera all right. My name is Robert Clay Walsh. I'm 36 years old. I live in Lynn. I work with my family business, Walsh's Heating Oil, here in Lynn. I also bartend part-time in the evenings. I attended Endicott College in Beverly, St. Mary's High in Lynn. I've done a lot of volunteering in the city, and I know we're pressed for time, so I won't get too much into that. But I wanted to let the people at home know that the basis of my platform is what comes down to me is a belief that Lynn needs to become the Boston of the North Shore. A lot of people tell me, Lynn doesn't have enough money. I say Lynn has enough people around it that have plenty of money, whether that be Nahat, Swampscott, Marblehead, Peabody, Salem. All these people should be coming to Lynn for social activities, entertainment, business, jobs. These are the things I think about and believe in. I think it's important that as a Councilor-At-Large, you should advocate for the positive things here in the city. If you've seen any of the debates before, some things I talked about. This is a photo of the Boston Seaport in the Seaport area of the new development in Boston. Lynn also has a Seaport area and a boardwalk that's not finished. Just came back from Magunquit. They have Marginal Way that's a public way that goes all along the coastline up there. Lynn is on the waterfront. Why aren't we finishing our walkway along our waterfront? That's something I want to see completed. Another slide or photo I have here is something to do with the sensors. These little black sensors that create safety to let fire trucks, police cars, and ambulances get through intersections when they're the most congested. I think our intersections are a big issue here in the city of Lynn. A lot of them are kind of outdated, and we need to look into fixing those. Eastern Ave is a big concern where Eastern and Western meet for me. I think it's important we start thinking about solar. This is a project being done in New Jersey where they outfitted municipal poles with solar panels. And the city, because they took the investment in that, receives credit on the municipal bill each year. Something else I'd like to see happen is there's a lot of kayakers out there. There's a little glare on this. This is my most recent slide. I think we need to have a place for kayakers to launch their boat. Similar view to the Saugus River, something we could be doing. Look forward to speaking to more with you guys. Thank you.
I got to get this right. Paul Crowley. Welcome.
Joe, thank you. Al, thank you very much. Nice to see you folks here tonight. See folks at home. If you don't know me, I'm Paul Crowley. I'm a lifelong Lynn resident. I'm married with a beautiful wife and beautiful daughter. We live in West Lynn on Holyoke Street. I'm the executive director of Greater Lynn Senior Services. I've been the executive director now. I'm in my 5th year. I'm very proud of the organization that I work for and the work that we do there. I just want to say that I'm a community guy. It's always, I think a general theme that most people who want to get involved in public service want to be involved in the community. I was involved in the community long before I was aspired to be on the city council, and I'm going to be a community guy long after I get off the city council or am not on the city council. And it's important to note that the passion that I have for this community is rooted in my upbringing. I grew up on Green Street in Lynn in a lower class area. I was very lucky to have a good infrastructure for a family and the ability to move out of the neighborhood, if you will, and get a good education. First one in my family to graduate from college. Very proud of my accomplishments. I'm very proud of the work I've done for the city over the years, whether it was with the city council or not. And I look forward to continuing to do good things for the city. And I will tell you that in terms of platform, if I can just say quickly, my platform is a very broad platform. It is address the needs of the city first and foremost, with an independent view to doing the right thing for the city as a whole, not taking special interests as a motivation for doing A, B, or C. Certainly you want to help constituents that need help and so forth, but you always have to have an underlying approach that is what's good for the city is all that matters. I have an accounting degree, I have a strong accounting background, and I think a lot of the people would agree in the city that the spending, while it's not necessarily bad, the spending that is going on in the city goes unchecked. We need the audit committee in effect to make sure that the management is properly managing the resources of the city, and that's what I want to be focused on.
Well, I guess we'll go to phone calls now, will we?
Well,
Should we get our number?
We want to let people know that there'll be, in each segment, you'll be able to call in towards the end. And that phone number, Joe, is?
596-9641.
And it's on the screen. I'm going to ask each a question right now and give you an opportunity to answer it. Presently, the mayor's salary is in question. It's in court, awaiting a court decision. But as it's written, different people would get paid a different salary as mayor. If you were Peter Turigian, a mailman from Peabody, the salary would be only $78,000. If you happen to be an attorney, you would receive $150,000 because you have a doctorate degree. City council salary is also supposed to be a percentage of the mayor's salary. So technically, if the mayor is receiving $78,000, the council salary should be $7,800. Presently, the salary is being drawn down as approximately, I think, $15,000 based on the previous mayor's salary and what they feel that the present mayor should also collect of $150,000 because she's an attorney. Come January, if you're going to be in a situation where you're going to have to change an ordinance, what are you going to do? Would you support one salary for the mayor, not based on college degrees? And would you also support one salary for department heads, not based on college degrees? And we'll begin down the other end this time with Mr. Crowley. Councilor.
Thanks, Al. That's always been a challenging question for me, and I think for a lot of people. Hence the need for the lawsuit that's going on now. I frankly believe in order to get the best qualified candidates to want to run, you have to make the salary attractive enough for them to want to participate in it. The $80,000 or so salary that the current mayor is getting, while I applaud her for being willing to work for less money than she could have taken. I mean, it was certainly interesting that she was willing to take less to stand for principle, and I applaud that. I do feel strongly that you need an incentive to get the best possible candidates. That being said, as far as an ordinance where I would be asked to cast a vote for my own salary to whether it would go up or down, I'm not very comfortable with that. I don't think that I should be in a position to do that. I think that we need to pay the people, as I said, what is a reasonable salary and one that's designed to incentivize people to come. But
your answer is good. I've just asked one question as a quick follow-up, and
Sure.
The rest of you can answer it. Do you agree or do you disagree that the mayor's salary should be a set salary and not based on what degrees they have?
I agree it should be a set salary.
Okay.
Yeah,
Bob?
I'm absolutely not in favor of this flexible thing. If you're an attorney, you should get more, etc. I think when people get involved in politics, if you decide you want to sit up here and be a candidate and run for office, whether that's mayor, school committee, city council, state rep, etc., I think you should have a set salary. I don't think people should be trying to do this to get rich. I think people should be trying to do this to make a difference and to help their community, maybe do it in addition to the work they're already doing as a career or to make a living. I'm a fan of a flat salary. I think the city council should have a flat salary. That's my opinion. That's where I stand.
Katrina?
I believe the salary should be independent. It should be a set salary, and I believe your qualification should be your passion for the job.
Miguel?
I'm in favor of the flat salary, and I'll tell you why. Because we don't run for office just because we want to make more money. We do it because we love the city, we love what we do. And one thing I like to also bring out is that when the mayor reduced her salary, she hired somebody else for that extra money that was she could have been making. So there is an assistant in also her office, a bilingual person that was hired, thanks to the reduction of the salary. But I do believe that we run for office for the love of this city and to help the people, and you, the voters, should have a saying on this as well. And I guess that's something that we can even put on the ballots as well.
And I remember when you first started the opening statement, you talked about public safety. So in that vein, let me say that there's 3 departments: Department of Public Safety, Public Works, and Education. Those are the 3 key elements.
Yes.
How would you say they're doing? Would you grade all 3 of them? And what would you do to improve them in a fiscally responsible way?
One thing, we know that DPW is actually in need of new equipment, more people. Let's just say that the DPW right now is the one that fixes the cars for the city, the police, cruisers, and all the city automobiles that are here in the city. And we need to put our money where it's needed the most. I mean, public safety come first. And we don't want to be running down the street or probably driving with our family knowing that the police car probably was not checked on time to fix the brakes or anything like that. Overall, they're doing well and trying to do the best they can with what they have. Do they need help? Yes, they do. Am I willing to support that? Yes, I will.
Katerina?
In terms of public safety in the DPW departments, I believe if we can increase the communication, that would be key. There is software now that citizens could enter in issues and also receive alerts to issues. And I think we shouldn't completely depend on the department to solve every problem. For instance, in school, one of the examples was, could you design a safe ATM machine? Now, the solution most politicians might have is, let's place a police person by the ATM machine. Well, I'm saying let's place a police person in a better position where we should be efficient with our resources and design a safe environment for the ATM machine. And that's more of my concept in strengthening the neighborhoods, making the neighborhoods safer by reorganizing the infrastructure flow.
Bob?
Right now, I think the police, fire, DPW are doing a good job. I think all 3 could use more tools. Something that had frustrated me back this winter was, I'm not sure if the people were aware of this, but on Canomo Ave, we had a fire truck stuck in the middle of a blizzard, stuck on Canomo Ave, and a fire truck goes out with a lot of guys. Well, we need new fire equipment. It's just as important to have new and readily available DPW equipment. Those are the guys that are keeping the roads clear for our safety vehicles. When it comes to DPW, fire, etc., the rest of the city, I think it's important that we start making smart investments. If you're going to invest in new equipment for the DPW, we need a better place to keep our equipment so it doesn't go bad, it doesn't rot. Same thing happening at Seaport. We're getting a new grant. Why are we getting a grant? Because we keep having storms that damage Seaport. Every year we apply for a new grant to fix Seaport. When are we going to invest in protecting Seaport with a breakwater out there? We got to start thinking smarter with our investments. Solar paneling on our schools. No one's talked about that at the new Marshall Middle School. And while I'm talking about Marshall Middle School, another smart investment. We need to get out in the primary, vote for the Marshall Middle School so we don't screw that up and cost the taxpayer in this city money down the road.
Yeah, you know, I tend to agree with the other panelists in terms of the ingrading the Department of Public Safety, the Department of Public Works, and the Education. I think that they all get an A for effort. I mean, they work very hard, and I think they do yeoman's work. I think that as a city, as an organization, we don't give them, they may have enough resources, but we don't give them a strategic plan that allows them to use those resources as best as they can. Many times, resources are allocated to certain places because that's the way it's always been done. There isn't any necessarily any managerial review of budgets by department, and that gets back to what I was saying earlier about the need for audits of management audits of the different departments. And while I think that some people say, oh, that's, you know, why do you want to audit the different departments? Say, you know, there's nothing wrong with them, and people may say that. What I would, the argument I have for that is that the management of these departments is designed to find areas for improvement, to find areas where resources might be better allocated. And if we do these types of things through an audit committee, which by charter is required, I think that we can save an awful lot of money and improve the overall quality of the different departments.
We have a caller on, nope, caller's gone, and we are going to go to a break right now, and then we'll return right after the break, and we'll continue with our 4 candidates for Councilor-At-Large.
We'll be right back.
We'll be right back, yes.
This program has been sponsored by Old Time Italian Cuisine. Located at 612 Boston Street in Lynn, Mass., Old Time offers a variety of authentic Italian dishes ranging from pasta to chicken and more, with delicious desserts and fine wine. Bring your family down to their dining area or enjoy a drink at their full-service bar. Old Time Italian Cuisine. Great authentic Italian food.
City's Voice is brought to you by Salon 234. Salon 234 is dedicated to delivering the highest quality service. We pride ourselves on being a visionary full-service company specializing in the current hairstyle trends and skincare needs for all different types of skin. Our highly skilled staff and intermediary with a spirit of caring and individual attention. Passion for excellence and dedication to the advancement of the industry standards will continue to guide the evolution of our company. Confine yourself and unwind yourself.
Welcome back to the City's Voice. We have one more question for our Council-At-Large candidates, and then they'll be wrapping up with a 2-minute closing statement. Question that we want to ask is, I noticed in the paper yesterday that the mayor did appoint a DPW commissioner. And again, though, it's an acting commissioner. So now we have an acting commissioner of DPW and an acting commissioner for chief financial officer. And this seems to be because the legislative and the executive branch don't talk to each other. Seems like Washington, D.C. How are you going to improve that in the city of Lynn? I mean, we can't really operate and function at a city when the executive doesn't talk to the council and the council doesn't talk to the executive, and we can't operate with temporary people in positions. Mr. Walsh, we'll begin with you, and we'll go to the left. Yeah, right, rather.
I suppose the common sense answer to all the voters in Lynn, my common sense answer is, if there's a problem in the city council as it is now, let's look to new candidates to get elected. That's a big change right there. On the record, I have texted Mayor Kennedy. On the record, I have texted Tim Phelan. I know for a fact that regardless, whoever winds up being mayor, I can have a good conversation with either of them. That's where I stand on the issue. But back to the lockstep, if people are frustrated by lockstep, let's look to get some new blood in there. Let's get some new faces in there. And, you know, you're switching it up, and you might see a difference in the communication. That's what I'm thinking.
Katerina?
I just happen to be a very persistent person, and if someone doesn't want to talk to me, I'm very persistent. I will. But speaking of the two candidates, Mayor Kennedy and candidate for Mayor Phelan, I get along well with both of them. I've communicated with both of them on different issues, and I don't see any issues there between myself and them. And in the past, on some issues, if there was a person in the group who was afraid to come forward with a solution, I would always be in the forefront, and I would ask for others. So I have no problem being the message sender either.
Miguel?
Well, on a city such as Lynn, which is a multicultural city, I believe that it's not well represented. And probably that's one of the things that we have in City Hall, butting head to head, do we need to wait till elections to see what happens with the, not appointed, but I mean, with the commissioner? They need to set the boundaries, and as a mayor, take the first step to see what can be done. Speak to the running candidate, come to a consensus. I mean, let's give the city what they're really paying for. Let's give them service. Let's give it service today, and let's not wait until elections day. Let's do it today. Why not? We need somebody to run the DPW. Let's do it right now. Thank you.
Mr. Crowley? Paul?
Yeah, I have served with both Judy Kennedy and Tim Phelan for a good length of time. Whether it's on the council or not, in my role at GLIS, I've spent a lot of my time communicating with them and others on the council, other department heads. I will tell you that when it comes to being in a managerial role like the mayor's office, much like it is with my job at GLIS, communication is critical to what you're doing. And I don't care whether we're talking about Judy Kennedy or Tim Phelan. Both of them are in key positions, mayor and president of the city council. I'm not being critical of either one of them, but if they can't communicate, they're not trying hard enough, because you can communicate. Communication can be resolved, even if there are issues. I mean, I struggle with what goes on with President Obama not wanting to speak to the Republicans and so forth. There is a desire not to, and that's what's the problem. To me, it has to turn around, and you have to have that desire to do it. And I think if you put the time and effort into the communication, you can do remarkable things. And one last thing about it, and I think a lot of times, in adversarial kind of relationships, politics tends to take the lead over policy. And in my role as a city councilor, I always put policy ahead of politics. I'm never going to win your support based on the politics. I have to win your support based on the policy, and I hope you'll support me.
Well,
Okay,
it's time to close.
you can address it in your closing statement.
I can't
Okay.
get 1 minute.
Because we have a schedule we have to keep, unfortunately.
So we're at that close, are we not?
2 minutes,
Yeah.
closing statement.
Yeah.
Katerina, Miguel, Paul, and Bob, you'll be able to wrap it up.
You, Bobby.
Okay.
It's Clay, but
Clay, what do you call
Clay.
Bob? Clay, okay.
Katerina Panichatakis Koudanis, and my website is cityoflynnconcepts.com. My phone number is 617-418-3009, and I live on 64 Nahant Street. Please feel free to knock on my door anytime, or call or email. Communicate anytime you have an idea, you wish to share, or communicate an issue. And please visit my website. I've posted several ideas from other residents, and I'm hoping to coordinate everyone's ideals. Thank you.
Miguel Funes, a family man who raised 2 kids in the city of Lynn. They went to public schools. They also went to college. I'm very proud of them. And I continue to serve the city of Lynn. I work with the Department of Revenue Services, helping families in need. And I think that my goal is to see people happy. And that's the reason why I'm running for office. Go to my website, votefunes.com. You can call me at 781-608-3902. I'm here to serve the city, the public, and you, the voters. And I hope that you can vote for me come September 17th and November 5th. Thank you.
Paul?
Yes, Paul Crowley. Would love to be a councilor again. Looking for your support. If you would consider me for one of your 4 votes, I would greatly appreciate it. I would like to applaud the panelists, Miguel, Katerina, and Clay, for coming on today. I think that it's important for you, the viewers, to be able to see who the candidates are. It's too bad that the other 4, who I don't know, I guess they must feel pretty comfortable about the election. But you know, the fact that we're here to speak to the audience, I think, is an important thing for everybody. In order for you to make a well-informed decision, you need to know the candidates. Hopefully you've had a chance to get to know a little bit about us tonight, and I think you should always be mindful that if you need to learn more, you should reach out to us and find us. Thank you.
Last but not least, Clay.
Just to step back to the last question you had about the lockstep between the mayor and the city council. With Tim Phelan running for mayor, this now changes the council presidency that will be coming up at this next election. We'll have a new council president. I think voters should be thinking about it. I think people should be talking about it eventually. But it's something to think about, and I think with a new council president, which is going to happen, that will change the communications. My name is Robert Clay Walsh. I'm running for Councilor-At-Large. I'd appreciate one of your 4 votes this fall. If you need to get in touch with me, feel free to call me, 781-521-7499. I'd be happy to hear your thoughts, suggestions, what you think's working in the city, what you don't think's working in the city. If you want to get involved in the campaign, put up a sign. My email is walshclay@hotmail.com. My Facebook is Clay Walsh, and then I have a campaign Facebook, Robert Clay Walsh for Councilor-At-Large. The website is electwalsh.com. Thank you for watching. Thank you to the panelists for being here. If you're looking for somebody that's thinking outside of the box, that's going to bring some more new ideas to the table, and has a vision for the city, I hope you'll think of me. I'd like to think of myself as the ideas guy. I've been very active in the community. I volunteer. When you think Councilor-At-Large, think community at large. When you think community at large, please think Walsh. Thank you.
I want to thank our 4 candidates that are here for Councilor-At-Large very much for coming tonight. The City of Lynn is very fortunate to have such well-qualified, caring, concerned people running for office. We urge them to remember they can vote on September 17th. They have 4 votes for Councilor-At-Large, and we hope that they use them, and they not only vote themselves, but tell their friends and neighbors.
Interesting point. 4 challenges. Think about it, folks. These are 4 people that want to go. Got to go to a break now,
We're going to a break. Very good. Thank you very much for coming, and tune back in another minute. Watch our commercial, and we're going to have some candidates for Councilor of the Wards coming up. Thank you.
Salon 234 is dedicated to delivering the highest quality service. We pride ourselves on being a visionary full-service company specializing in the current hairstyle trends and skincare needs for all different types of skin. Our highly skilled staff are committed to meeting your needs with a spirit of caring and individual attention. Passion for excellence and dedication to the advancement of industry standard will continue to guide the evolution of our company. Come find yourself and unlock yourself.
This program has been sponsored by Old Time Italian Cuisine. Located at 612 Boston Street in Lynn, Mass., Old Time offers a variety of authentic Italian dishes ranging from pasta to chicken and more, with delicious desserts and fine wine. Bring your family down to their dining area or enjoy a drink at their full-service bar. old-time Italian cuisine. Great, authentic Italian food.
My name is leadership. My parents practice what I preach to make my family proud. My self-protection, my job, my dignity. This is why we say no.
The power of the word no gives you the strength you need to persevere. We live above the influence.
The majority of teens in Lynn choose not to use marijuana or alcohol. Be in charge of you.
Make that decision.
Standard question, sir. No problem.
We're going to give you guys 2 minutes for an opening. We're going to ask questions and give you 2 minutes for a closing.
Okay.
Okay? So we'll introduce you. I'm on. Oh, welcome back. You know, sometimes you make a mistake, you don't realize you're on TV and you talk a little bit, and thank goodness I didn't say anything that I don't want to have repeated. We have
Unusual.
3 outstanding candidates for councilor who are here tonight. And again, we've asked all the candidates if they wanted to come back, they could. These outstanding candidates have decided they would like to come back, and we're going to give each a 2-minute opening statement to introduce themselves, and then we'll go to questions, and at the end, we'll have a 2-minute closing.
Any phone calls?
And if we have time, we'll have some phone calls in between, and the number, Joe, is?
So you got to trick me again.
596-9641. I know
You beat
you
me
can't
to
see
it, but
that far.
I just want to let the candidates know, when I put this up and go like that, that's just a little signal for you to wrap it, so we keep the time.
And if you don't see it,
You don't
ring
want
the bell.
that.
Okay?
Okay, let's
Why
get
don't
to
we
it.
begin with Rosaria? Did I say it right?
Rosario.
Well,
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to thank Al and Joe for moderating this show tonight, and the residents watching in the audience. And my name is Ariana Morel Rosario, and I'm running as a ward councilor candidate for Ward 4. And I've basically, I've already been on 2 debates, so I think I've pretty much talked about my bio and my background. One of the things that I really wanted to discuss was a little bit about my platform, because I have a very comprehensive platform that deals with a lot of different pressing issues that are going on in our city that I would like to address. Some of the things that I'm going to be working on when I become elected is economic growth and development, developing sound economic policies that will allow us to bring more jobs into the city, higher paying jobs, allow our small businesses to thrive. I'd like to increase resident services and be able to channel more funds towards services for our residents. And also, I would like to work on budgetary and management monitoring and controls so that the departments are functioning at its highest competency level. Let's see here. I'd like to work on some charter amendments. I'm going to be talking a little bit about that educational incentive ordinance, because that's one of my pet peeves going on right now, one of the issues that I want to address. But also, I'm also going to be working on a solution to end or eliminate the disparity in voting in our city. So those are some of the overview of the platform of the issues that I'm going to be working on when I become elected.
So we go from Ward 4 now on to Ward 3.
Ward 3. Good evening, everybody. My name is Ron Mendez, and I am running to be the next ward councilor for Ward 3. And I wanted to tell you a little bit about myself. I also wanted to tell you why I'm running. But first of all, I wanted to thank again Al and Joe and the people here at LynnCAM for hosting this forum. I'm running for Ward 3. You can find out more information about me on my website, which is www.ronmendez.com. My resume is on there. My bio is on there. There's some information about me on there. Great opportunity to learn about me. But I wanted to tell you why I decided to run for city councilor. It's because I care about the city. My wife and I, when we located our business here, because we believe in the potential that Lynn has to offer. We all know we all know the things that Lynn has to offer: the beaches, the waterfront, the proximity to Boston, the woods, the downtown, the arts and cultural district, and the diversity that our city offers. There are so many pluses to being in Lynn and investing in Lynn, and that's why we decided to come here. And I want to share that with. I want to help promote that. I want to help be a part of that. And why am I running for Ward 3? And the Ward 3 Council is because I've gotten to know a lot of people in the neighborhood, and I care about the people in the neighborhood. I think that my experience as a business manager in the Department of Public Works in Newton brings me a lot of experience that I could use to help run things a little bit more efficiently. We all know that things could always be run a little bit more efficiently and a little bit better. We can learn from other communities, and I'd like to have the chance to bring that and my experience to Lynn. So thank you very much.
And we go to Ward 2. Just happened to work out that way.
Yeah.
Excellent. Hi, my name is Jesse Jager. I'm running to be your next Ward 2 City Councilor for the City of Lynn. My family and I moved here about 10 years ago, and I remember the first time I ever came to Lynn, walking along the waterfront and then walking up into Lynn and into what is Ward 2. And my wife and I immediately fell in love with the city. We fell in love with the proximity to outdoor things to do, like the waterfront and the woods. We fell in love with the downtown, with all the great arts activities. And we just think that Lynn has such a great and vibrant future. I have a master's degree in organizational leaderships, and one of the main things that I've done in my career in managing nonprofits is help nonprofits through periods of change. And I think that Lynn is really in that kind of a period of change. I have the skills and experience to help Lynn move through this period of change. And that's why I'm running for City Council, because I believe that Lynn has a bright future, and it needs new leadership, fresh ideas, a fresh take on the issues facing Lynn. Some of the things I'd like to work on. First, I'd like to build on Lynn's assets. Over the last 10 years, Lynn's lost nearly 1,400 jobs. So we really need to focus in on getting jobs back to Lynn, to put Lynn's workforce back in place. I think we need to build on invest in Lynn's future. We need to get the Marshall Middle School built, and we need to address our school space issues. And I think we need to make Lynn's government smarter. We need to address the rat issue, and we need to make sure things like snow removal are done well and forwarding. And the other thing that I want to make sure is that Ward 2 receives really great constituent services. If you call me, I will absolutely call you back, guaranteed. I can't promise to fix all problems, but I will call you back. You can find more information about me at my website at jessejager.com. Thank you.
Well, to a question. In order to operate any enterprise, this goes for all of you, you need an adequate revenue stream. What steps would you take to enhance Lynn's revenue stream so as to provide for the basic city services? We'll start with you.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, that gets part of the, fits in with my talking about building on Lynn's assets. One is that we need to do economic development to get Lynn working again. We need to get these empty storefronts filled up with businesses. A study has shown that that immigrants are one of the are entrepreneurial and really help develop an economy. And that's something that Lynn has. We have an incredible, diverse immigrant community, and we need to do more to help them start businesses in the city. That'll help increase the tax base. I also think that we need to get bring in more green jobs to Lynn. The green sector is a growing sector in Massachusetts. We should be trying to leverage to get some of those jobs here in Lynn and develop the economy here.
Ron.
Sure, thank you. The city of Lynn has the 6th or 7th highest commercial tax rate in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. That makes it difficult to attract businesses to Lynn. And we also have a permitting and a permitting structure in the city that makes it very cumbersome and bureaucratic to bring businesses to Lynn. So one of the things we need to work on is we need to deregulate our permitting structure. We need to deregulate the process to open a business in Lynn. You know, when I was on the chamber, the board of the chamber, I still am on the board of the chamber, we asked the Inspectional Services Department to put together sort of a little trifold or something that we can give a new person who was considering opening up a business in Lynn. We were thinking a pamphlet that we could hand out, and what we got back was 65 pages long, and that was the summary for what you might need to go through to open up a business in Lynn. It's very complex and very cumbersome, and needlessly so. And if we're ever going to reduce that commercial tax rate, the way we need to do it is by expanding the commercial tax base. And what that means is opening new businesses so that the commercial tax revenue stream can be shared by more people. If we start enhancing the commercial tax base, that is not only going to bring down the tax rate, it's new revenue to the city. And that's going to help us fund a lot of the projects that we need to fund.
Ariana.
Okay, well, there are several different ways that you can increase revenue stream here in the city. Now, traditionally, we do that through laying of taxes or increasing taxes on our residents and businesses. However, increasing revenue does not necessarily mean that you're going to have increased resident services, because we have a system going on now in terms of our salary structures with our managerial staff, where there's a lot of resources are getting concentrated to the top in salaries, and it's sort of like a pyramid scheme. And less money is coming down to the residents in form of services. So in order to really enhance revenue stream for businesses, we need to address some of those issues, as well as, of course, increase our tax revenue base, provided that it goes to services.
Next question. Very simply, I'll be asking all the candidates on this particular thought process. Presently, there's a court case on the mayor's salary, determining whether or not it should be $78,000 or $150,000. The way it's written, a mailman could only get $78,000 if he didn't have to go to college. So Peter Terigian, who was the outstanding mayor of Peabody, would be getting $78,000. But if you happen to have gone to law school and have a law degree, although you do the exact same job, you're going to get twice the pay. You're going to get about $150,000. That case, we don't know what's going to happen. I could win, could lose it. But the fact of the matter is, department heads and other people in the city also have this increase in pay, so that two people doing the same job can get two different salaries depending upon their degrees. That ordinance has been set by the Lynn City Council. You as a new councilor are going to have to take some action at some point, because I don't think it's right, and I don't think you think it's right, that two different people for mayor, one would get 75 and one would get 150. When you do that, you're also voting on your own salary. How would you handle that situation if in January a court case comes down and says the mayor's salary is $78,000? Would the mayor's salary then be based on degrees, based on a certain salary amount? And would you set the council pay to be part of the mayor's salary, or would you keep it separate? And we'll begin with Ron.
Now, you know, the educational incentive program that you're talking about stems back to the Quinn Bill, which is a law that was enacted many years ago, and it applies, or was intended to apply to police officers. And the reason that that was enacted was because we wanted to encourage police officers to better their education. You know, in order to be a police officer, you're required to have a high school diploma, and you also have to go through the academy. But there really wasn't much more, and there was a need to see that our law enforcement officers were more professionalized. And the Quinn Bill was a great way to do that, because it incentivized police officers to further their education. The problem is that when you try to extend that program beyond the police department and beyond police officers, it kind of got viewed as a bit of a gravy train, and everybody wanted to hop on the gravy train and get, you know, what they perceived as their right. For example, I believe the city solicitor gets an educational incentive for having a law degree. He has to have a law degree to be a lawyer, and you have to be a lawyer to be the city solicitor. There shouldn't be an incentive to meet the basic requirements of the job. And it doesn't apply to any other management position as well. What we should have is a non-managerial rate structure for salaries. That's what many other cities and towns do. That's what we do in Newton. We have what we call H grades, and it applies to all of the non-unionized workforce. And salaries are paid based on what a competitive rate would be for that position, given the skills required. It's not appropriate to have an educational incentive for managers. It just doesn't make sense, and that should be done away with.
Ariana.
Well, this is one of the issues that I intend to address when I get elected. It's one of my platform issues. The way it stands now is that the city charter is supposed to set the salaries of all of the department heads. And so let's say that the ISD commissioner salary is supposed to be $90,000. He's receiving somewhere around $160,000. So because of these incentives that are being given to these department heads, and also by tying their salaries to the union, which their salaries are exempt from collective bargaining, you have the salaries of these department heads doubling. Now, I know that there's some of the counselors may say, or some other individuals may say that that we have to give them these high salaries in order to find skilled candidates. But I say that if we abolish residency or set residency for police and fire at 10 years and abolish it for everyone else, we'll be able to hire from a larger pool of qualified candidates outside of the city, so that we can have salaries that we can afford to pay, thereby freeing up more money for resources for the residents in terms of services. So I would set those salaries back to the levels that they're supposed to be, and repeal that educational incentive ordinance.
Jesse.
So I see kind of three issues to your question. One is the mayor's salary, one is the department head salary, and one is the money that city councilors make, right? The mayor's salary, I think that I would want to look at what communities with similar size of Lynn across the Commonwealth and in New England are paying their mayors, and come up with a number there and set some sort of benchmark for inflation to make sure that the pay is moving forward and not moving backward around inflation, and set it at that. I agree with Ron that doing educational incentives and stuff like that just doesn't make a lot of sense. For our department heads, I think what Ron just said actually makes a hell of a lot of sense. It's what the nonprofit world does. It's what the corporate world does. There's pay scales. I would add in the possibility of looking at doing some sort of incentives in terms of performance, having maybe the city council set some goals and objectives for department heads to achieve, and create incentives for performance-based pay for the department heads. But that would have to be carefully structured there. But I think what Ron said there it makes sense. And then as for the city council, again, I think that we look at what makes what other city councils of towns our size are paying, set a number, index it to inflation, and let it go. The city council shouldn't be voting on their own pay. It just doesn't make sense for the city.
Okay, we had an announcement in the paper today, which I think somewhat can affect the city of Lynn. Yesterday, Boston said that they've made an agreement with Suffolk Downs. Today, Revere announced they had an agreement with Suffolk Downs. Revere happened to be our next door neighbor. As a councilor, with Suffolk Downs possibly becoming a major casino for New England, I think it's probably going to happen. What role, or how do you think you can increase Lynn's revenue stream by working with perhaps Revere and the new casino at Suffolk Downs? And you might encourage, keep in mind maybe development of the gear plant or South Harbor. And I guess the first question, who hasn't gone first? Jesse.
So, I actually, when that agreement came out, I posted on my Facebook page about this because, I haven't seen Lynn doing anything about this issue, and we are really close to where this casino could be landing. I feel like we need to be in there in negotiations, making sure that we are getting having some sort of host agreement, or not neighboring community agreement. So cities that are where it's going to be in get to do one agreement, but communities like Lynn do get to negotiate an agreement ourselves with the casinos, and we should be in there negotiating that because, frankly, I could go either way on the value of having casinos, but there are issues that go along with having casinos in the community, and we need to make sure that we're getting properly reimbursed for dealing with those issues. We also need to make sure that some of the economic development that's going to happen because of these casinos make it to Lynn. So they need city councilors that are going to be forward-thinking, that are going to be looking to what these issues are going to raise, and bringing those ideas, or making it so Lynn gets the benefits of having the casino and has the resources to deal with the challenges that having a casino in the area is going to do.
Have to go to wrap-ups. We had a note that we're running behind, but I'll try to give you like 2.5 minutes instead of 2 minutes to Ariana, and Ron, and Jesse, you'll have 2 minutes. So why don't we do your close-up, and you can also address the question at the same time. Ron?
Me? Okay, sure. Well, just to speak briefly on the Suffolk Downs issue, I was actually, being part of some of the business groups in the city. I've had the opportunity to sit down with Chip Tuttle, who was the chief operating officer down there, and he was basically offering us the opportunity to sit down and negotiate and be part of the process, and there really wasn't much of a response from our incumbent city officials, and it's kind of par for the course for what I've seen from a lot of the people in city government here. They just don't tend to want to get involved with our regional entities. We have the North Shore Alliance for Economic Development. Lynn is usually a no-show there, except for people from the chamber, and other organizations. But that's all I was going to say on that. In closing, just to wrap up the debate, since time ran a little short, again, my name is Ron Mendez. I'm running for Ward 3 City Council. You can learn more about me on my website at www.ronmendez.com. And I'm excited to be the next Ward Councilor for Ward 3. I'm going to be out there pounding the pavement this weekend, and I'm just excited to make a lot of changes. And we need some new blood, new faces in city government. It's what I keep hearing from residents every single time I'm out there knocking on doors, and hopefully we can make it happen this year. Thank you.
Okay, I just wanted to make a brief comment about the casinos. I think that would be a great opportunity for Lynn to be able to, I think that when that happens, there will be developers that will come in, and we'll be looking to develop into Lynn and adding more jobs. Also, it will give our residents an opportunity to have a neighboring city that they can find employment in. So I think that overall it should be a good economic situation for Lynn and Revere, as long as we can build a working partnership. I wanted to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. My name is Ariana Morel Rosario, and I'd like to, I'm messing up here. I'd like to share with everyone that this election season is going to be a very important election season in our city's future and history. I hope that everyone will go out to vote and make a very informed decision when they go to the polls. If you want to learn more about me and my platform, please go to www.electariana.com. Also, you can sponsor or host a coffee hour or meet and greet with me in your neighborhood. I'd love to meet with you and hear what you have to say. And I will be knocking on doors the next 3 weeks before the primary. So I do hope to meet more of the residents as I get out.
Thank you. Jesse,
Thank you.
to wrap it up.
Great, thank you. Thanks, Joe, for having us back on the show to talk. And just thank you to the residents of Lynn, and particularly the residents of Ward 2, for inviting me to your front doors and talking about the issues facing Ward 2. I've really enjoyed the last 3 months of door knocking. I plan on being out there more right up through the general election. You can get more information about me at jessejager.com. And I just want to close by talking about one thing that did not get brought up in this debate that actually affects the ward that Ron and I are running for, the wards that Ron and I are running for, and that's the Marshall bond vote. It is absolutely critical that we pass this bond vote. Now, as I go door to door, I have been meeting several people who've been talking about the location, the Brookline location not being an ideal location. And I agree. This would not have been my first choice. But the reality is we need to get that new school moving forward. We don't have, I believe, and looking at it, I believe we can address the issues of the Brookline site. And if we don't pass it, It's going to be a really long haul to try to get these schools replaced, and Marshall is in bad shape. We've got a long list of city schools that need to be replaced. We have kids learning in classrooms that were designed before the Great Depression, and that's just wrong. We need to get kids in new modern classrooms for a new modern world. So again, thank you very much. Also, we want to invite you to a fundraiser on April 13th at Fran's Place at 7 p.m. Thank you.
I want to thank our candidates for Ward 4, Ward 3, and Ward 2 for coming, and remember to go out and vote on Tuesday, September 17th for the candidate of your choice, and let them know that we appreciate the fact that they're out there and they're working hard to get their vote. And it's a shame if only 5% show up. So let's show everybody that Lynn cares. Thank you very much, and we're going to take a break and go to our next segment in a minute. Thank you.
Salon 234 is dedicated to delivering the highest quality service. We pride ourselves on being a visionary full-service company specializing in current hairstyle trends and skincare for all different types of skin. Our highly skilled staff are committed to meeting millions in the spirit of caring and individual attention. That's with excellence and dedication to the advancement of industry standards and continuing guiding leadership of our company. Come find yourself and unlock yourself.
This program has been sponsored by Old Time Italian Cuisine. Located at 612 Boston Street in Lynn, Mass., Old Time offers a variety of authentic Italian dishes ranging from pasta to chicken and more, with delicious desserts and fine wine. Bring your family down to their dining area or enjoy a drink at their full-service bar. Old Time Italian Cuisine. Great authentic Italian food.
Welcome back to the City's Voice and our candidates forum tonight. We now have two candidates for Ward 5, which is an open seat. We have Jake and Seth, who are back for their second time, and we're going to give them each 2 minutes opening statement to talk a little bit about themselves. We'll have a series of questions, and then they'll have a 2-minute closing. We didn't flip a coin, so we've been going right to left, my right, so we'll begin with Jake, and then we'll go to Seth, and then closing remarks will be just the opposite. If I forget, remind me. Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for inviting us here. Thank you, City Voice, for inviting us here. There are three of us running. I'm Jake Keo, Seth Album, and Diane Chakutis. She's not here, right? She won't make it today. I want to say I am a candidate for Ward 5. My name is Jake Keo. The reason why I'm running for City Councilor of Ward 5 because I strongly feel passionate about public service. I want to bring new ideas to our city, to our ward. And I'm a father. I'm a father. I'm a taxpayer, homeowner. I also have a daughter, 18 months, and I live on Hanover Street. I feel strongly that our ward needs new leadership. I want to bring out the issue that we have is business development, public safety, and public health. Those are the three issues that I would like to talk about further. Thank you very much.
And we'll go to Seth.
Thank you. Good evening. Thanks, LynnCAM, for having us back so that we can allow the voters more access to the candidates and so that they can make a better decision. You're doing a good public service, I believe. I'm recently married. My name is, let me back up.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. My name is Seth Albaum. I'm a candidate for Ward 5. I'm running for the entire ward, from Pine Hill to Lynn Harbor. It's a diverse ward. It's a challenging ward with many different challenges And I hope that my background will be an asset because I've lived in both urban and suburban environments growing up, and I appreciate the pros and cons of both. In 2007, I bought a condo in Central Square. I wanted to get back downtown, live above storefronts. I love it there. But what got me involved and what inspired me to start the Downtown Lynn Neighborhood Association in 2008 were my neighbors. I came here for the ocean, I came here for Lynn Woods, I came here for urban living, but it's the people of Lynn that inspired me to get involved, and we reconnected the downtown Lynn area with City Hall. We got to know each other on a first name basis, and that got my juices flowing. 2008, 2009, I started LynnHappens.com for several reasons. A community events calendar, to post city council video online, to help promote open government in Lynn, and to speed up the process of getting LynnCAM into City Hall to broadcast the meetings. I used to work in public access television and am aware of open meeting law. Now I teach television production at Chelsea High School. I'm a member of the Chelsea Teachers Union, and I'm a business owner. Upside Media is actually the company through which I run LynnHappens.com. I'm a member of the Lynn Area Chamber of Commerce and the North Shore Latino Business Association. I also sit on the Lynn Cultural Council, the Board of Directors of Lynn Arts. I'm one of the founders of Arts After Hours, and Friends of Ward 5 I'm involved with as well.
Thanks. I'd like to follow up on a question that you asked of the last panel. Had to do with Suffolk Downs. I found that fascinating, the point being that they want to build a casino there and that this would have a great influence on jobs for the city of Lynn. What struck me was that there are folks who are arguing against it. How do you feel about Suffolk Downs and the casino? Do you think that would be an asset for Lynn? And how would you tie into it? Either or?
I think it can go both ways. I think it has the potential to supply some good jobs, but we don't need more minimum wage jobs. We need well-paying jobs.
I don't think there'd be minimum wage jobs. Those casinos pay pretty good, don't they? The dealers, and I don't know.
It's not a business I know a lot about, to be honest.
Neither do I, but I mean, is it a good idea?
Even though I personally am not a fan of gambling, it's all in the implementation. What are we going to get in exchange for the casino? Are we going to get improved infrastructure? Will it be easier to get to Lynn? Will we be able to get to our jobs in Boston trying to get through Suffolk Downs?
Jake?
It's good to have a casino. I wish we have it in our city, but if they're going to have it in Revere, it will benefit our city largely because it will create jobs for Lynn residents to be working at Suffolk Downs, or we can have motel, hotel, hospitality places that people can stay and then go gambling over there. The only bad part about having a casino is that some people might be more like gambler. They get addicted, but other than that, it's create tons of jobs for people in Revere or elsewhere in our city too. So it's a win-win situation, I believe.
Seth, just follow up on that just very quickly. South Harbor has a problem with many developers owning property down there. The Gear plant is owned only by General Electric. It's also on the waterfront, and it's pretty clean at this point. As a councilor, would you perhaps form a special committee that might try to reach out to major hotels and say, look, we can have a hotel on the waterfront, and you're only 10 minutes to the casino to increase revenue stream in Lynn?
Absolutely. I think when you improve, never mind that it's not in Ward 5, that doesn't matter. When you improve any part of Lynn, you improve the entire city, as far as I'm concerned. I'm absolutely in favor of a hotel. I like what Clay said about having recreation there. If it's clean enough, let's do it. Let's reach out and market the city.
Jake?
Yeah, I went to Peter Capano and the Labor Council. They put a great thing on the job summit at the museum. And they were talking about linkage. I understand some about linkage, we get a developer, investor to come and invest in our city, and they can invest it and they can build in a hotel or hospitality or shopping plaza, whatever. I think it's a great idea. If we can do that, then again, we can create jobs for our city and will make our cities prosper. And that is a great way. Any kind of business that's coming into our city is a good thing for the city, for all the people, not only just for Ward 5, but for all residents in our city.
Okay, we mentioned linkage. Now let's take a different type of linkage. Okay, city council's salary is linked to the mayor's salary. Should it be linked to the mayor's salary? And presently under the existing city ordinance, all right, not a city charter, but the city ordinance says that the mayor's salary is $78,000. It was interpreted later that the mayor is a department head, and as a department head, he should receive extra money, or she should receive extra money, because the council at that time perhaps didn't want to take a vote. It's always difficult to vote an increase for yourself. So the easy way out was perhaps to say, all right, if you happen to have a degree, and the last two mayors happened to be lawyers who had degrees, so they got a salary of $150,000, which I believe is appropriate for a city the size of Lynn. But if you hadn't had a degree and you were Peter Terigian, who had been the outstanding mayor of Peabody for a long time, you'd only be getting $75,000. You may have to address that issue, and when you address that issue based on what happens in the court case that the present mayor has, your salary could be either, say, $7,500 or $15,000. What are you going to do when you vote on an ordinance? We realize that any vote you take will be for the new council 2 years from now. But should the salaries be linked, and should the mayor's salary or council salary be based on whether you have a degree or not have a degree?
My position on that is it should not be degree-based for elected positions. Real city department heads, I'm not talking about elected officials. I'm in favor of educational incentives for them. I have it in my business of education. Police, better training for firemen, whatever the case may be, but not for elected officials. You're electing them based on their qualifications.
Jake?
I work as a manager for retail for a long time, and I think it's not fair to be set the salary increases based on the degree, because it's like Seth said, it's based on qualification, experience. Everybody should get the same rate regarding the job title. I think that's the fair way to operate. And the salary for city officials should be increased based on the living standard, based on the cost of campaigning, per se. I think that it should be increased based on the living standard, because I get my salary increase every year too, small percentage, based on the living standard, because the cost of food, the cost of gasoline is getting higher every year. So therefore, it's fair enough to just increase a little bit, as the time goes on. Thank you.
Councilor Mingentry, point of information, last 3 mayors were lawyers.
That's correct.
That's
why the salary has been that way for basically 3 terms. So the issue has never come up, but it's not appropriate to leave it there. It's something I think that has to be settled, and the present mayor is saying, let's get this straightened out once and for all. 3 of you are running for Ward 5, all right? What one quality do you think differentiates you from the other 2 candidates and makes you different? Okay, so what makes you different than the other 2 candidates that are running that should be the reason why people should vote for you?
I think it's my community organizing experience, not just in the downtown, but through LynnHappens.com, really throughout Lynn. The fact that I've already have had results with opening up city government, that I've already been working with city officials on new and improved trash cans. You can see them on Market Street now, the ones with the photos of High Rock Tower, the locked lids so people can't go through them and leave a mess. They're rat proof. More of them are on their way. And that's a proposal that I brought to a committee, a meeting that Brendan Crichton actually helped put together. Through the neighborhood association, we got cameras in the MBTA lot. I've organized neighborhood cleanups, and I want to take that ward-wide and city-wide.
Okay. Jake?
I have a rodent issue. We have rodent issue in our city, big time. I want to work hard with the inspection service to help control our rodent issue. And I have a strong background in business administration management. I've been a manager for more than 10 years. And I can bring my expertise and my skill to bring our business back up. We have so many abandoned spaces and buildings. For example, is the Anthony Hawthorne. It's been there for a long time. We don't want to be there for 20 years, empty, not doing anything, and a lot of empty spaces. I have the ability to bring that type of business back because I have a strong background in business. And another issue, we can education. We can improve our school education, build new school, remodel school. We can bring all that. Also, for bringing business back, we can find a way to help small business owner to attract. For example, we have the auditorium that we sell ticket. We can put on a ticket. Example, like a discount. If you come to watch the show at the Lynn Auditorium, we give you discount for dining at our city's restaurant, downtown restaurant, or in Lynn. That's a way to attract people, to attract customers to come in. And another way is promotion. We got to promote our business. We have so many diverse businesses in our city, and we need to promote that. We need people to come and enjoy our city. And the best thing is we got to make sure our city is safe for people to come and enjoy it. That's, I believe strongly, safety is a great issue to be.
We have to go to our closing statements. Yep. We started with who opened up?
I am.
You did. All right. Yeah. So, Seth, you go first.
Thanks again, LynnCAM, for having me here. Today was actually the first day students were back in Chelsea. So I've been talking all day, and I'm tired of hearing myself talk, to be perfectly honest. But I'm also here to listen. I will respond to every call, every email, every text, every Facebook message. Visit ward5lynn.com to learn more about how to get in touch with me. If you're interested in a lawn sign or helping out with the campaign, or holding a coffee in your apartment complex, or late summer, early fall backyard party, I'm there because I want to hear your concerns. Thanks again for having me. Vote Seth Albaum and vote for the new Marshall School on September 17th.
Jake.
Thank you for having me, Lynn City Voice again. On September 17th and November 5th is the election day. I respectfully ask for your vote. I am a very hard worker. I really care about our community. I'm raising a family here. That's the reason why I want to run for office. I want to help all children of Lynn, the city of Lynn. I will work hard. I will get up every morning and knock on the neighbor's door and check to see how they're doing. I will be the people person. I'm gonna be. I'm not really more like a talker. I'm more like a doer. I involve in a lot of community service in Lynn, and I'm very proud of that, and I'm looking forward to get more involved. I will work with the city official. I will work with the police department. I will work with everyone nonprofit that we can bring our city into a city of dynamic city that we live in. I want to feel proud and pride of my city, and I want to work with the police department with the Know Your Neighbor program. As a fact, I met with the chief Coppinger of police chief yesterday. The other day, he said that we need to work on the Know Your Neighbor program. When all the neighbors get to know each other, then we will have a safe neighborhood. When everybody knows each other, we break the barrier. We will integrate. We will be Lynn, the resident of Lynn. And I want to be proud of where I live, and I want everyone to take ownership of our city. That's how I feel. I'm taking ownership of my city. I remodeled my home, and I raised my family there. I'm proud of it. I also want to mention that where I live right now, this is Ward 5 right here. The white line right here. Over here is other ward. Where I live is on Hanover Street. It's a city. It's the area that's been neglected for many years, and I want to help that community. I want to help that area. I want to help all the area of Ward 5. But this part of it has been neglected. Has rodent issue. I know downtown has 2 rodent issue. We have trash issue. You know, we gotta. I want to help clean up our ward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, we're going to have to take a break, aren't we?
We have to take a break, but we want to remind people this is one of the more important elections on September 17th because one of the candidates will be eliminated. There are 3 candidates running for Ward 5, and 2 will be nominated for the November election. So we want to encourage people to vote in Ward 5. Thanks our candidates that did come tonight, and don't forget to vote for one of them on September 17th. Thank you very much.
This program has been sponsored by Old Time Italian Cuisine. Located at 612 Boston Street in Lynn, Mass., Old Time offers a variety of authentic Italian dishes ranging from pasta to chicken and more, with delicious desserts and fine wine. Bring your family down to their dining area or enjoy a drink at their full-service bar. Old Time Italian Cuisine. Great authentic Italian food.
Salon 234. Salon 234 is dedicated to delivering the highest quality service. We pride ourselves on being a visionary full-service company specializing in the current hairstyle trends and skincare needs from all different types of skin. Our highly skilled staff are committed to meeting your needs with a spirit of caring and individual attention. Passion for excellence and dedication for the advancement of industry standards only empower the leadership of our company. Come find yourself and unlock yourself.
Money's leadership, my parents. Practice what I preach. To make my family proud. My self-protection. My job.
My game.
My dignity. This is why we say no.
The power of the word no gives you the strength you need to persevere. We live above the influence.
The majority of teens in Lynn choose not to use marijuana or alcohol.
Be in charge of you.
Hey, welcome back to the City's Voice. This segment we have 3 of our outstanding school committee members, Donna Coppola, Charlie Gallo, and Maria how do you
Carrasco.
say that? Carrasco. Yes. And we're going to allow each of them to have a 2-minute opening statement. We'll have some questions, and they'll have a 2-minute closing statement, and they're going to tell you a little bit about themselves and why it's important for their re-election.
And if we can squeeze a phone call in, give us a call at 781-596-9641, and we'll do it.
Very good.
So let's get going.
We'll start from Maria and go to your right.
My name is Maria Carrasco, and I'm running for a school committee because education is my passion. I was a teacher in my native country. When I came to Lynn, I was not able to pursue my career due to the lack of English. Still, I have my problem with the English, but I believe that because my 3 children and also my grandchildren attend the public school, and as a mother, as an educator, and as a grandmother, I believe that I have many things to offer to the school system. I believe that children deserve a quality of education. It doesn't matter what school they attended. I believe in public school. That is the reason why I send my kids to the public school, and also some of my children attend the public school. That is the reason why I'm running for a school committee. I also believe that I have experience in the field. And I just want to continue working hard to make sure that all our children receive the quality of education that they deserve.
Excellent. Mr. Gallo, Attorney Charles Gallo.
Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in today, and thank you to everyone at LynnCAM. My name's Charlie Gallo. I'm a member of the Lynn School Committee and have been serving since 2012. I'm currently running for a second term. And I first ran for the school committee because of how important education is to me and because I wanted to work to improve education here in Lynn. I come from a Lynn family. My family's been here for 4 generations, and I was fortunate enough to be the first in my family to go to college. Continued on to law school after that, and then got right back into the classroom, began teaching over at North Shore Community College. Some of the initiatives that I've worked on in the first term include grant funding to help bring more resources to our students and to our schools, career development programs in our high schools, student safety programs in our elementary schools, and partnerships with businesses and nonprofits. We have a great community here in Lynn. We should be using it as a resource to benefit our schools, to benefit our students. We've made Lynn School Committee meetings available online, been transparent and open and responsive to the public, and we've also worked on educator appreciation initiatives. It's been a pleasure to work for the students. It's been a pleasure to work for the schools. I'm here tonight to answer any questions and to ask those watching for a second term. Thank you.
Donna Capola.
Yes. My name is Donna Capola, and I have served a number of years on the Lynn School Committee. I'm married to Harry, who is and I also have 3 grandchildren and 4 children that all graduated from the Lynn Public School System. I've been a foster parent for 19 children over an 11-year period, and that was delightful. I have always been passionate about education. I really never thought that I would run for school committee, but I was very active in PTA, both at Lincoln Thompson, my children's elementary, and Breed and Classical, and that generated an interest. PTA, of course, is parent and teachers joining together, and teachers really got me excited about running and trying to make a change in the Lynn school system. And that is why I chose to run. I think that there's been a lot of good changes. I think the most important thing is the children and the academics that we offer them. It's our job always to continue to try to make our school system better and bring the marks up, but also bring along a lot of new things that, technology, the sciences, things that they're going to be tested in. And when they go out in the public, whether it's jobs or off to colleges, that they need to be ready for. Presently, I work for a daycare center and I'm case manage a teen parent program. And many of them are students here in the Lynn Public Schools. I pride myself on knowing that when I sit at that table, that I represent all kids, the regular education kids, the special education kids, the kids that maybe would have been dropouts years ago. But it's important to keep them involved because it makes a difference in the city of Lynn. If they get a good education and they can go off and get good jobs, they will be productive citizens here in our community. So it's important to me to have a seat on the Lynn School Committee again. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. There's a lot being said today about the youth, particularly after something happened on MTV the other night. Anyways, I'm interested in community standards, so my question is generic. Do our schools tend to set the bar? We educate our kids. Do our schools need to set a higher bar as to what is considered appropriate and inappropriate behavior? And for that matter, the community at large?
Well, we do have a discipline policy that's in place in the Lynn schools. And I think it's very important that we set a bar for our students, whether it's how they come dressed to school, how they behave in school. It's of no benefit to anybody if they're disruptive in classrooms. So I think it's really important for us to set those standards. And, we're helping them to get them ready for the world. And, if they can't, stay disciplined in a classroom, you know, they're not going to be successful as they go on to jobs. So I think it's really important. It is our job in the school department to do it. And I think we have good policies on the book in regards to it. But and I will tell you, I get a lot of calls from parents about, you know, we require that the kids tuck their shirts in. And, you know, the parents are always like, why do they have to tuck it in? Well, this is what our policy is, and we want them to come ready to learn and follow what the rules are.
Charlie?
Sure, thank you. You know, part of schools is formal education, of course, and you need to pass your tests and you need to earn your diploma. But another part of it is really to be prepared for the outside world, life outside the classroom, life after the classroom. And I think we do a good job of that in the Lynn schools. There's always room for improvement, but I'll just give you an example. Over at Lynn Tech, and my father's a tech graduate, and many of my uncles are tech graduates, the students come to the shops as if they're going to work. They dress appropriately, they show up on time, and we're preparing them for life outside the classroom. At English and at Classical and at Fect O'Leary, again, we have the same standards. We're trying to prepare our students for life outside the classroom, show up on time, be professional, be courteous, be polite, and we need to continue to strive with policies that ensure that is going to continue to happen in the Lynn schools.
Maria?
Yes, your question was about discipline, but it's not just about how they're dressing. I believe it's also the way that they confront adults. I see that many students, when they go to school, they try to, for the parents, they dress okay, but they change the way that they dress as soon as they get in. I believe it's a combination. We need to make parents involved in the education of the children. We need to make parents feel confident. I see that when I became a school committee member in 2007, I was looking for uniform. It was not allowed to have uniform. But I see a lot of communities like Boston, Lawrence, they have uniform. So the issues about how they dress is not there because they all have uniform and look okay. So in Lynn, it seems many parents are still calling me because they are looking for uniform. It's true that we are according to the Constitution, it's not right. But I still believe that if the parents want uniform, we should make parents part of this solution about the way that they are dressing in the school.
Very good. I agree with the uniforms. Next question, kind of we asked some of the council candidates, but I think it's also pertinent with the school department. It appears that Suffolk Downs is going to become the home of the casino in eastern Massachusetts with 4,000 to 5,000 jobs being created. And a lot of them aren't going to be minimum wage jobs. Computers have a big play in casino operations. We have a vocational school in the city of Lynn. Are there plans, or would you have plans, to reach out to Chip Tuttle and Suffolk Downs now that it appears that Boston and Revere have come to an agreement in the last 2 days, which I think kind of says they're probably going to be there. And we're a neighboring community, and we're supposed to get some benefit from the casino being located there. How would you approach, or have you approached Suffolk Downs at this point about involving the Lynn School Department and how the kids from Lynn might benefit from some of these jobs? We started the last question with Donna, so we'll go to Charlie this time.
Thank you, Mayor DiVirgillio. It's a good question, and I think it goes to the point of preparing our students really, again, for life after the classroom, life after school. And you mentioned Lynn Tech, and Lynn Tech does a good job now with some programs that I think will be beneficial if the casino comes, and in particular the culinary arts program. Anybody who's had a chance to go sit down in the Tiger's Den at Tech and have a meal there knows that those kids are going to be well equipped to maybe work in the casinos and the culinary end. If the casino comes, I think it would be a great idea to partner and to try to do something to streamline jobs from our schools to the casinos. Last term, we actually initiated a career development program in the high school, starting with Lynn Classical. I worked with a few of my colleagues, Mr. Ford, Capano, and Starbard, to help bring employers into Lynn Classical, where they came, showed what their workforce was about, tried to teach the students, you know, this is something you might want to look at after college or after high school, and perhaps we could incorporate Suffolk Downs in the same type of program if the casino comes.
Donna, and then Maria.
Sure.
I'm sorry I woke you up.
That's all right. You didn't wake me up. I was diligent away for Marie to answer that question, but it's all right with me. Tech is a very important school for a lot of our students. I'm a little disappointed because the numbers were at about 1,200 in that school, and they have gone down to about, in the fall, where it was about 635 students only. And it's a huge facility with 3 buildings that it takes up. So it's expensive to run when the numbers are down, and I think the numbers should be up. We did have hotel management there, and I think that when that was put together, they were looking that that was a possibility down the road, that the casinos were coming. But it didn't stay. So I think it's really important to find out whether it's through the workforce offices in Salem, in Lynn here, and also for us on the committee, to pursue that, whether it's through a superintendent, the deputies, or somebody to approach them and find out, as well as the director of Lynn Tech, because it is a technical school, so we should see what we have.
I would hope they'd give you a couple of new classrooms with computer equipment. Maria?
I just want to say that as a chair of the New Link Coalition, we already are in the process to have a meeting with the people from the casino. Because we want to make sure about how many % of people are going to be employees over there. We want to make sure that it's not going to be minimum wage and what position it's going to be. So, and we want to know if they are willing to donate some money that we can use the money for education and for other jobs in the community. That is part of the New Link Coalition. So we are already in the top of this because we want to make sure that any employers coming to this city is going to be willing to give a job to our community. So that is something that we're doing right now.
We have a caller on the line before we go to the next question. Paul?
Yeah, how are you guys?
Okay.
Good luck to you all on this election, and all 3 of you do a fine job as I watch you all the time. This goes out to all of you. What would you say is the most important issue facing the Lynn School Committee in the next 2 years? Thank you.
Good question, Paul. We'll begin with Maria this time.
What happens right now is that we have 2 schools who are level 4. We have around 6 or 9 schools who are level 3. And we want those schools to become level 2 or level 1. So that is one of the issues that I believe is going in our school committee as a member of the school committee. I also believe that overcrowded. We have many students coming to the city, so we have to address those issues about how can we, when we receive money, instead of use to build or have a more administrator, we can use the money for direct services to our students. That means, by saying that, I'm talking about creating more classrooms,
Okay.
and me more teachers' job.
Donna?
I think that I agree with Maria on that the academics is first. We must bring all the test scores up, and we must improve the schools to a higher level. And this is not to put down our school system at all, because we have kids every year graduating, going to Harvard, going to Yale, going to great colleges, earning lots of scholarship money. So I think we're still doing a good job, but we still cannot, it's not acceptable to me to have level 4 or level 3 schools. Whether we have to intensify the curriculum we're using, but also overcrowding our classrooms, but our buildings are in dire needs. We absolutely must get the vote from the citizens in Lynn.
Charlie, we're going to give you just a little extra time to
closing
combine the
statements.
closing statement and answer the question, and then we'll go to Maria and Donna for their closing remarks.
Sure, thank you. So one of the big issues that continues to face Lynn and any school system, I think, is funding. And Donna and Maria mentioned a lot of issues: overcrowding, too many students in a classroom, not enough teachers. funding is the key to bringing down our classroom size, to improving our buildings, to ensure an appropriate student-to-teacher ratio. So I think funding is one of the big issues. One of the ways I've worked on that in my first term on the school committee is to actually hire a fundraiser, somebody who's working to bring in funds privately, not at a burden or cost to the taxpayer, to improve our schools for our students and take care of many of those issues that Maria and Donna mentioned. I guess now wrap up?
Now wrap up.
Thank you, Mayor DiVirgillio. So again, I want to first thank, again, everyone who's watching tonight from home. You should be commended for watching this, for being informed voters, and thank you to LynnCAM. You can learn a little bit more about my campaign and about what's happened in the first term at www.charliegallo.com. You can give me a call, an email, follow on Twitter or Facebook. I know that the future of our city depends on our schools. I hope that I've shown you that I've worked hard to improve them. To continue to do so, I ask for your vote. So I respectfully ask that you cast one of your 6 votes for me in the primary election on September 17th and then again in November. Thank you for your time.
Maria?
I just want to say thank you very much for having me here, and thank you everybody who is here as our audience and people who are home watching these shows. I just want to say that election is coming September 17th. I ask for you to cut one of your 6 votes and give it one. And I want to continue working in the school system. I believe that I've been doing a good job. I want to let you know that I care about students, I care about teachers, I care about parents. That is my 3 issues that I have in mind every time that I talk about education. I believe that team together can make a great city, a good education system in this city. I believe parents should be part of that system. Please go to vote September 17 and say yes to the question about Marshall School. We need to say yes to that question. We need to build a new Marshall. And after that, we can have the opportunity to fight for Pickering, Tracy, and Cabot. Thank you.
And Donna, last but not least.
Yes, I've been proud to have served you on the Lynn School Committee. And the reason that I first ran is I went to many school committee meetings and I was disappointed that children weren't put first and they weren't the first priority at many school committee meetings. It was disappointing to me, and that's the reason I ran. I ran again this election for the same reasons. It will always be in my heart that the children come first. If you watch me on any school committee meetings or you attend them, I promise you that I ask a lot of questions. I come prepared. I ask tough questions. I'm not afraid to question, or if somebody's feelings are hurt from administration, that isn't a concern of mine. The most important piece is that the Lynn schools are the best that we can give the children in Lynn. And I'd appreciate one of your votes on Election Day. Thank you.
Want to thank our candidates coming in. The election is December 17th, and even though there's going to be all of them nominated, it is very important to each of the candidates that you do participate and you vote on the 17th, because if they don't get enough votes, they might look like a loser, and then they'll lose in November, unfortunately, because they didn't look good in the primary. So please vote for school committee and all the other candidates on September 17th. And we're going to go to our break, and we will welcome back 2 more candidates for school committee after the break. Thank you very much.
City's Voice is brought to you by Salon 234. Salon 234 is dedicated to delivering the highest quality service. We pride ourselves on being a visionary full-service company, specializing in current hairstyle trends and skincare needs for all different types of skin. Our highly skilled staff are committed to meeting your needs with a spirit of caring and individual attention. Our passion for excellence and dedication to the advancement of industry standards will continue to guide the evolution of our company. Come find yourself and unwind yourself.
This program has been sponsored by Old Time Italian Cuisine. Located at 612 Boston Street in Lynn, Mass., Old Time offers a variety of authentic Italian dishes ranging from pasta to chicken and more. with delicious desserts and fine wine. Bring your family down to their dining area or enjoy a drink at their full-service bar. Old-time Italian cuisine. Great, authentic Italian food.
Welcome back to the City's Voice. Again, if you want to call in during this segment, 781-596-9641. We're finishing up tonight's program with two more candidates for the Lynn School Committee, and we're going to give them an opportunity to introduce themselves in approximately 2 minutes each, and then we'll have some questions, and they'll have a 2-minute closing statement, and we will begin on my left. You may introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about you, and why you want people to vote for you.
Hello, my name is Stan Watering. I'm the father of 2 children. Trippy, who's in the audience over there, and Asia. He goes to tech, she goes to English. I'm running for school committee because when I was a kid, I hated school. And so now that I'm an adult, I realize how important that it is, and that we should be giving our kids the best education that we possibly can. Everything comes from education. And I'm very unhappy with the way things have been going. Actually, I don't understand why Melissa and I are here alone in the same segment. She joined me in staging the first ever petition-driven public hearing on a Lynn Committee school vote for posting a position of superintendent. And we're both of us are incumbents running for one of the positions, and we have a lot of similar views. It would have been nice if we'd have been with some people with some opposite views.
This is your opportunity, though, to show your differences, and I think you have done that with stressing the fact that...
I have. I've been running for 3 years. The Lynn School Watch, it's a blog. I go to all the school committee meetings. You'll probably see me on LynnCAM, the back of my head. I think we need to look... I went line by line through all the budget, and I look for ways that we can cut waste and get money spent on the kids directly into the classroom.
Okay. Melissa.
Hi, my name is Melissa Romanello, and I have a blog as well. It's not as popular as been running for as long as Stanley's. It's Melissa, the number 4, lynnschools.blogspot.com, and that's where you can find out some of my bio and information about me. I also have a Facebook page, Melissa Romanello for Lynn School Committee on Facebook. I'm going to hop right into my platform. I began going to school committee meetings when there was a need for the school committee meetings to be taped. They weren't being taped, and they weren't being broadcast publicly. I had heard through Stanley's blog, actually, that Seth, who's running for the Ward 5, who runs lynnhappens.com, was looking for somebody to tape the meeting. So I volunteered. And when I volunteered, I realized that, just like what Donna realized, that when she started going to the school committee meetings, that kids weren't coming first. I sat there and I watched our school committee give the superintendent a $30,000 raise. She makes 6 figures, over $200,000, and we pay for her car. I was astounded. I couldn't believe that this was happening. After that, I watched the school committee vote to take away $250,000 from special education and the circuit breaker funds and give them over to an administrative position, which would be the 2nd deputy superintendent spot. We already had one, but we obviously needed a 2nd one. I also watched them give other administrators raises. Kevin McHugh got a $6,000 raise. And I was just astounded. I was astounded that this money was being taken from our kids. It was being taken from direct services. It was being taken from our classrooms. And I couldn't believe it. And like Stanley has already told you, Stanley and I teamed up with some other members of our community to have the very first public hearing on a vote that the school committee had taken, and that was the vote to open up the superintendent's contract. They had voted against it. They had voted to keep the superintendent and not look for another one. And we got 250 signatures, and we had a public hearing, and it was the first one in Lynn's history. And even though we didn't achieve our goal of opening up the superintendent's contract, it was successful because we got the word out and we got people involved, and we got people passionate about the issues. So I'm running so that our kids have more services, so that our schools can improve, so that our teachers have the funding that they need to teach. And that's it. And like I said, you can find out more about me on my blog and on Facebook.
I'm fascinated by both of you are interested in the fiscal situations, correct?
That's correct.
Then why are we building a school for $90 million, of which we're going to come up with 18%
Well,
at this point in time? That's the question. You can answer it.
The question, why are we? Because we're so strapped for cash?
There's a proposal to build the school, which is going to cost somewhere in the order of 90 million and upwards, right?
Depends
Of which
on
our
who you-
share is 20%.
Depends on who you ask and when you ask.
Pardon?
It depends on who you ask and when you ask. Originally, it was going to be our share, was going to be a $19 million school, then 35, and then 84, then 90, then 92. I spoke 2 weeks, I was at the final Marshall meeting, and I asked to all the people there, said, how much you went up to bond, 35 or 92? They wouldn't answer. And finally, at the end, I cornered the Fortucci. I said, how much? 95 35 or 92? He said, and he wouldn't hardly give me an answer, but then finally he said, well, 35. Turns out, I knew we were going to have to bond the whole thing. You know, my thing is, yeah, we need new schools. We do. We are overcrowded, terrible. But how are we going to go for all this big commitment before we don't even know what we're doing? I'm saying, step back and find out what it is that we are going to need.
Fair enough.
So to answer your question, frankly, we're building a new school because we need a new school. I don't know if you've seen the inside of Marshall recently, but it's falling down. It's absolutely falling apart. Rick Starbird has these great pictures, I'm sure you guys saw them at the last debate, of holes in the ceiling, smart boards being covered up, just pipes sticking out of the floor. As far as the 90,000 and what our commitment is, we're not. The way I understand that the bond is written is that we are bonding the full 90,000, but 80% of it's being reimbursed, and it's 80% of approved costs or approved spending. We actually are not. It's not 80%. It's more like 60% because we need to come up with 40% of it because about 20% of it isn't approved. We absolutely need a new school. We absolutely need a new Marshall. Marshall is the gateway to a new Pickering, to a new Tracy, to a new Ford, and we need them because, I don't know if you've been in the schools recently, but Tracy has 2 classrooms where the kids sit on the floor because there's too many kids for the classroom and they can't put desks and chairs in the classroom. The kids learn on the floor. We have 2 classes like that in Tracy. That's just, how can we expect our kids to learn when they're sitting on the floor? We couldn't work. I couldn't go to my job and be expected to sit on the floor and perform.
All right, just we don't have that much time, but I think one thing you want to both make very clear, and that is that you feel that presently within the school department there's too much money going to administrators' salaries and pay increases, and then not enough that should be going into classroom space and smaller classroom services for the kids. So perhaps you want to make that very clear. That would be my question. How do you feel about it? And then we're going to go to closing statements. But I think that's very important for people to understand.
Sure. I don't know if you want. Do you want to go first, Dan?
Yeah, you
okay.
go ahead.
So I think Mayor DiVirgillio said it perfectly. No one can dispute that Stanley and I don't agree 100% on this. That too much of our money is going towards administrative salaries, administrative raises, administrative bonuses. Not just that, but we also have positions which we are responsible for paying that are mandated by the Office of Civil Rights. We have a compliance officer that we pay $110,000 a year because we were found non-compliant with our translation and interpretation services. That's $110,000 that could be going to direct services for kids. I don't think I can make it clear enough that we need to stop doing that our kids and our teachers and our classrooms and our schools need the money first, and let's pay our administrators and their raises and their car allowances second.
Stan, then we'll go to the wrap-up. Each of you will have 2 minutes.
Okay. I've, on my blog, the past 2 years, I go almost line by line through the budget, and there's a lot of waste. And most of the money is, a lot of the money is spent to administrators that our kids will never see. You have to make an appointment to see if you can. We need, to put that money back in the classroom. I've got nothing against paying our superintendent a high salary because it is a very important job. However, you need to be able to do your job. You need to have a lot of different duties. And we added a new deputy superintendent, and we actually went downhill in our schools scores. We used to be best to the worst, and now we're not best. We were second, and Melissa's talking about they were even third, depending on how you slice it.
We have about 4 minutes left, so we want to, that was wrong. So we want to give you each a couple of minutes to make your close, 2 minutes. So we'll give you a minute each to say why they should vote. State your name again and why you want people to vote for you, and we'll tell them they should vote for the Marshall School.
Awesome. You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay. So again, I'm Melissa Romanello, and I have a few more things that I want to add in about the financing bit of it. Not only adding that second deputy superintendent position, so the money was taken from the circuit breaker funds, which is $250,000. That position isn't going to be funded through those funds anymore. So we created this position, and now we're unable to fund it. We also pay large salaries to lawyers that we hire to fight with our special education parents. Instead of giving our special education kids the tools that they need, we hire lawyers to fight with parents, so to deny them what they need. And I think that's another thing that we need to stop doing as a school district. I would love one of your votes in September and another one of your votes in November. I truly believe that our schools and our education is the foundation of everything here in Lynn. It's the foundation of our crime. It's the foundation of our housing market. It's the foundation of bringing new people into Lynn and creating more job opportunities. Until we can make our schools better, until we can improve their grades, until we can improve our scores, until we can improve the results, we're not going to be able to improve Lynn. And I want to be that voice. I want to be the voice of change. I want to be the voice of improvement. And I hope to get your vote. Thank you.
Stan, we have a minute for you to wrap up.
Okay. Well, my name is Stan Watering. I'm a parent of two kids, like I said, that go to Lynn School. I have a blog, Lynn School Watch. Go to that. You're going to see a lot of things that you'll be surprised to learn. I have a lot of fun. Some of it's not true, but there's a lot that is. And a lot of administrators tell me this. They tell me I am the only place they go to learn these things. I've got nothing else to do. I'm retired. I'll be your school committee member full-time all the time. And I respectfully request one of your 6 votes.
Very good. We want to thank our 2 candidates who are non-incumbents, who are running for incumbents on the school committee to September 17th, and we encourage everybody to go out and vote in that particular election. We do want to remind the audience that we have the mayoral debate live next Wednesday night for 2 hours 7 to 9 o'clock, and we encourage you to tune in. We have lots of good questions, and I know you'll enjoy the show. Thank you very much for tuning in tonight. Thank you for our candidates coming, and remember to vote on September 17th. Good night, everybody.
This is my city now. This is my town. This is my city. Through my eyes, looks so pretty. This is my town. This is my city now. These are my people. This is my song. Dirty streets where I belong. This is my town, this is my city now.